Hello, everyone, and today I'm going to be discussing the struggles of a light worker. I do feel like this is a very big topic that a lot of people have come to me and really have requested that I do something about this, kind of to really, shed some light on a lot of important topics regarding the struggles of being a light worker. So I'm going to be covering different aspects of different, events and different things that, you can do to really kind of elevate your vibration and really help you with, struggling with being a light worker. So this is one of the things that I discussed with my friend Pamela on her podcast when I did that, and it's available on YouTube as well. And we discussed the idea that a lot of people who are psychic or healers or mediums or spiritual, have spiritual abilities. This is a one area where in relationships they struggle a lot, in particular with a spouse or with dating. What I find so interesting is that people in general who are at a limited self-awareness or a 3D consciousness, state of consciousness, they are not as open and receptive to someone who would be more vibrating on a 4D or 5D level. And so, if this person's primary career is as a psychic medium or is a healer, a lot of they're the people that they would go on dates with, or people that are potential partners out there, they may freak out and they may just kind of go cold turkey on them and just decide to distance themselves. It's very hard to break the ice with someone. And this is what I see all the time when I'm reading my clients who are, their primary means of income, or their career is in the spiritual field. People who are outside of the spiritual field, I'm not saying that they wouldn't be going through these kind of issues, but predominantly people just like, the LGBTQ community and anyone who is perceived to be different, there are going to be a lot of issues that come up in regards to being unique and really sharing your abilities and what you do. So what I see a lot and what the feedback that I've received is that there's a lot of people that maybe go on dates the first time with someone new, and they start opening up, and as soon as they tell them that there are a psychic or a medium, that person really finds that kind of like a turn off and really just go the opposite direction. It scares them away. But the question is, why does it scare them? Why does what is it that in particular makes them want to not be able to accept someone else that's different? And the reason for that is that there's a lot of fear and miseducation. And like I said before in different podcasts, it's people who typically are not very enlightened, or they've been socially conditioned to the point where they don't accept anyone else that's outside of their normality. And this is something that is so disconcerting, to love someone when you're in a 4D and a 5D state of consciousness. You love anyone unconditionally. Most people, that are vibrating at the higher levels, they've learned to love themselves and to love others unconditionally without any kind of prejudice and, any kind of being biased, of so to speak. But it's so hard to find someone that's really vibrating in their authenticity, especially if you are an empath, a psychic medium, a clairvoyant, you're a healer, you're a shaman, you're a witch, whatever it is. There's going to be a lot of judgment, and there's going to be a lot of people basically just freaking out and just going the opposite direction. And like I said, it has to do a lot with them not being educated. So what can you do, if you're like on a date with someone and they freak out completely? The best thing you can do is just be yourself, be honest. If the person that you are dating cannot accept you for who you are, why would you want to lower yourself? Why would you want to jeopardize your authenticity and, just continue to be in that kind of position where they're, passing judgment on you. That's a negative vibration in itself, and it's going to affect you, especially if you're a light worker, and it can bring down your self-esteem. But you have to recognize that you're a beautiful soul and that you are worthy. And if this person is not seeing that, and it kind of scares them away, then you're better off without them. Why? Continue to, it's easier for me to speak on this subject, than rather than, you going through it yourself. It's easier for me to talk about it, but when you're going through it yourself, or you're going through that kind of issue, it takes a toll on your self-esteem. It really can crush you. It can send you into a depression. You start asking yourself, am I not worthy? Am I not lovable? Am I not someone who deserves to be loved? There are a lot of people out there that are not going to accept you for being a spiritual being. Part of this is the social conditioning, and also there are people who are in a certain position, whether this is a doctor, a lawyer, and they have an image to maintain. A lot of these people will, how should I say this? It's all about the image and maintaining that image, and they don't want it to be subjected to any scrutiny or people to perceive them as being crazy because they believe in, something that is entirely against their teachings or their religion, or, they feel like they will be judged by their own society, their social networks, the people they've connected to socially. So a lot of people secretly, they do have these relationships with people who are spiritual, but it's like you're being kept in secret, in confinement. And a lot of you that are listening to this, you may have had a partner at one time who tried to keep you a secret from other people. What I mean by that is that you maybe had spiritual abilities. They were very aware of it, but they mocked you because you had spiritual abilities, and they kind of try to keep you more in the closet, rather than showing you out, taking you out places and dining. And it's unfortunate that you would have to do that. But then again, this is something that you have to ask yourself. Why are you allowing yourself to be subjected to that kind of standard and be, under that kind of duress, and also that negative, mindset that person has? A lot of people try to mold another person. So you have to kind of ask yourself, why is this occurring? Why are you letting it? Are you ashamed? To a certain point, we may stand here all day and preach that we are a light worker and that we are fully comfortable with who we are and what we do. But at the end of the day, when it happens to you and you are in those shoes, it's a lot different. The story is entirely different, and you're going to feel at times that perhaps something is wrong with you. That's why you can't find the love of your life, or your soulmate, or your twin flame, or you can't, have a decent love life, because you feel like if you come out and you tell them that you are, a psychic medium, or that you have these awesome abilities, that they are going to treat you in a bad way. And I can tell you, I've had a lot of clients, and they come to me and they tell me, that their husband or their spouse, they treat them like crap because, they mock them because they don't believe that they, in spirituality, and they don't believe that they have these abilities, and they do. And some of them may believe them, but they use it as like a narcissistic type of trait or role, where they would, kind of use it against you and mock you just to make you feel inferior or make you feel less worthy of someone. So it's very important that when you are going into a relationship and you are, around people, you need to read energy. Trust what you get. The vibes don't lie. A lot of us get caught up in the superficial and the physical appearance of a person. And so when you do that, you tend to sort of like lose the aspect or the energy of the soul that's radiating right in front of you. If you are an empath or you're someone with any kind of sensitivity or psychic abilities, you need to really pay attention to the energy of that person. You would save yourself a lot of heartache. And by tuning into their energy beforehand, you will know whether or not you need to speak up and let them know who you are and what you do or what abilities you have. Why bring up something to someone that is closed, has a closed mind and is not open to it? There's a lot of people that are not prepared to listen yet to, this, and not prepared to embrace someone who vibrates at a higher level than themselves. And I think this is where a lot of relationships actually go wrong, and they go sour, because there's someone who is more enlightened or is vibrating in the cosmos, at a higher level than the other person, and then problems start erupting. This person is not liking how the other person is treating them. There's a lot of lies. There's deception. They're cheating on them, and they know it. But like I said, a lot of this can be prevented ahead of time by you reading, and this doesn't just speak about, I'm not just speaking about relationships. This also goes with friendships. There's a lot of you out there that are listening to this that may have spiritual abilities and have friends that are, the same type of person. They don't support anything that's spirituality. They find it hilarious. They find it, that you are very much just, a joke. That's how, it is. It's happened to me with friendships online, so I really know. And actually it happened to me maybe about 2 years ago. There was a person that I used to work with in a call center, and I came across them at a doctor's office maybe about 2 years ago, and I was talking to that person, and I started talking on spiritual subjects, and this person gave me a dumbfounded kind of face and expression, and I knew they were not open then and there, so I shouldn't have continued. And I kind of continued a little bit, and they were just like puzzled. And I wasn't embarrassed, because I'm very confident in, who I am and what I believe in. But I had to kind of retract and reword it in a way where they would understand it, because it's sometimes when we are light workers, we start using jargon, we start using or trying to explain it, even if we're not using jargon, the best way possible. But like I said, people that are closed-minded are not going to be accepting, or they're going to think you're crazy. So it's kind of hard, these are the struggles that we face as light workers. And the best thing that you can do to people that are closed-minded or that are angry or vibrating at a low level is just to show them unconditional love, and to really just speak your truth, standing in your authenticity. I have a lot of people, that I used to work with that, have, I know that they look at my page, they look at my videos, they may not comment, but I know that there's a lot of chit chat and gossip about me, in the background. I'm not, naive, and I'm not a fool, but I don't care what they think about me. Essentially, I'm very confident in who I am. And if I was to worry about what everybody said about me or what they thought about me, then I wouldn't be living in my truth or standing in my truth. Life is too short to be worried about what someone thinks. If they think you're a fake, you are, you're crazy, or you're just insane because you believe in that. They believe in other things. People believe in a lot of things that could be deemed as crazy. They believe in getting, they believe in Bigfoot, or they believe in UFOs, but when we get into those kind of subjects, it's a little bit different. There's been a lot of more proof of, that there's an existence of that. So it kind of, shifts the skeptic to a certain point. But with psychic abilities, shamanism, witchcraft, witches, and, people that work in the spiritual realm or with spirituality, it's a totally different subject. And so there is a lot of proof out there, but you would have to, kind of pull that proof up in front of someone and really kind of discuss it further. But, my message here today with this podcast is to not be afraid of who you are, to embrace your individuality, and know that if that person that is out there that you feel like you are going to, you're trying to search for your soulmate or a partner, and that true love hasn't popped into your life, there is someone out there for you. Not to give up hope. I think a lot of you that would be listening to this, regardless of when you listen to this video or this message, would, maybe at the end of your ropes, You may be disconcerting, about this whole thing and want to just give up on love completely. But you don't need to give up on love. You need to continue to vibrate in a state of love and know that that right person that you are seeking is out there for you. They are out there. It's just a matter of you aligning yourself and loving yourself. A lot of us light workers don't love ourselves enough to the point where we can attract love into our life. A lot of us are in pain. We hold on to past events, or we're holding on to other people's pain. Because we want to heal them. And I think there's a codependency. A lot of empaths, a lot of light workers have a codependency. If they are in a relationship with someone who maybe does accept them, there is a certain level of codependency with that other person because you want to help that person, you want to heal them regardless of how they treat you. And this is a very tricky thing. It's very tricky, and I see it all the time, and it's very complicated to detach and know your worth and break that codependency. So these are, very valuable topics that I am discussing, very real life. This is something that is going on every day in the households and in the lives of many light workers out in the world. You are not standing alone. If you're going through any kind of struggles right now, or you're going through anything that is very difficult, you need to continue to keep your faith. You need to center yourself and really ground your energy and stand, like I said, in your authenticity. Do not, if you do happen to, open up completely to someone and they are kind of, hot and cold, or they give you mixed signals, that person is not worthy of your time. Like I said, there's a lot of people that have an image to maintain, or they want to impress certain people. So it wouldn't benefit them to walk around with someone who is enlightened, or to, really support that person and kind of, show them off to the world. And then you have people who are celebrities, or people who are in a position like doctors and lawyers that are very confident in their own spirituality, and they're fearless, and they do not have any problems discussing and embracing another person who is a light worker and who is standing in their authenticity. And that is so refreshing. It's so nice to know that there are people out there in the world who have platforms that they're using to expand consciousness and to expand love and really vibrate on that one vibration of love, and disseminate that in through the whole throughout the whole world. So these are the struggles that I go through, that my colleagues go through, that my friends go through, and you out there that are listening would be going through. I hope that you really take away from this. What I want you to take away from this podcast is to understand that you're not alone if you're going through any kind of judgment. Your family is not accepting you. Your spouse is not accepting you, or you've dated jerks, or women who, didn't accept you for who you are as a spiritual person, or they mock the fact that you're a psychic and take that for granted. Just know that these people are not worthy. And why are you aligning yourself with that? It's time to really, consider, after this podcast, go through your life, sit down for a moment, analyze who on your friends list on Facebook or Instagram is really supportive and who is just there taking up space. There's a lot of people who are more of an acquaintance or an associate, and they're not really friends, because friends keep a communication. And there's a lot of people out there that mainly just come forward when they want something from another person, and that's basically the only time that you hear of them. So really try to evaluate, after listening to this podcast, your entire friends list, your social circle, and who is draining you. You need to ask yourself these questions. Who is draining you the most energetically? Who is supporting you unconditionally? And when you're able to make those decisions and determine, you are able to actually protect yourself from being drained, protect yourself from all these negative vibrations, and vibrate at a higher level. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this podcast, please go ahead and hit the like button. Also, be sure to check out my book. It is now available for pre-order on my website. If you want a signed autograph copy, you can go to my website. That's www.raymondguzman.net/shop, or you can go to Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble, and it is available. It's Starseed Footsteps. It becomes available worldwide on September the 18th. Also, if you'd like to set up a private reading, you can go to my website. That's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. Best blessings and love and light. Have an amazing day.